Good morning. Hey, wake up. This is the Bev D Show. It is January 20th, 7:11 a.m. That's a store. Hey, my name is Bev. I am your host and very happy to be here. It is Monday. We call those fresh starts, reset, the beginning of a new week. It's morning. It's beautiful out. I think it's like 5 below. It's just amazing. Nice, fresh, crisp air. Okay, so it is a little cold, but that's why if we're lucky enough, we'll be blessed with coats and cute boots and scarves and gloves to keep us warm. So if you've got all that, you're blessed. There's some people out there in the cold. They're freezing. And they're all over. And they don't have those things to keep them warm. So I'm feeling pretty lucky this morning. I'm in the studio here. We did some work yesterday, Tim and I, and we were sorting through some things and everything. We got a nice little space heater here to keep me warm, which I also appreciate. When I when I was going through some of these things, and you just got to do that once in a while. I'm a writer. I throw nothing of the written word away that I've done. So I have, just notebooks filled with thoughts and poetry and stories. And I ran into one of my stories, and it's just this one. It is just haunting, and it's got to be done, and it will be done. I need to get it published. There's things that take priority in our life, or we just are afraid to do them. And I had an interesting weekend after a very crazy week. My crazy week began with, I'm coming up on my birthday. It's okay. I'm going to be 60. And, while you're getting through that next decade or starting off a new one or closing out one, each number I always think about, what do I like best? I love the number 57. I love the number 7. I love 5th Street. I am absolutely obsessed with numbers, and there's certain ones that I like better than others. And 6 is a beautiful word. And, I love that word. And I love that number. It's really sweet. But 60, as it refers to me, I'm still getting through that. But my week started off with, in the Monday morning, I realize it takes 2 weeks now. I do not have a passport, so I had to go through the process of getting my driver's license and getting my picture taken and everything. And the new process that starts in October, where you have to have all of these identifications and such. One of the things that it made me do is, if I'm divorced, I kept my married name. Well, I have to have my birth certificate, of course, to show my maiden name. But the other thing I have to have is my marriage license. So when they told me that, I was fretting it because I just wanted to take care of business and get into work. And so they tell me this about my, I got to get my marriage certificate. And I don't know why. We don't know our triggers. But I said, why? And she said, because it's the thing that connects your name to your birth name. So my maiden name. And I don't know why that made me cry. I thought about being a baby. I thought about, my namesake, my mom and dad, and marriage, divorce, the whole thing. I don't know why, but it upset me. But I knew it was going to take too long. So I just went into work and started off my next day with going down to the courthouse, getting my marriage certificate, and going through security, having to take off my belt and my shoes and everything. This is all to get my driver's license. It's fine. I get it. I know why we're doing it, but I was just surprised that, I've bought a house, my cars, everything under this name, which is obviously who I am, but you have to prove your birthright. So it was an emotional start to the week, and then we had a very busy week at work, and that's all wonderful. I love my job. Um, so Saturday, I had all these plans and things to get all this stuff done, and I needed to shut down. And so it was snowing, and we had all kinds of food in the house, and I could cook, and just kind of really rested and hung around and watched some TV and some movies, and then yesterday when I woke up, I felt 100% energized. And it really got, then I was able to get things done that I wanted to and got some work done here in the studio. And just, it was a really, really good weekend. Tim and I were talking about it last night and just saying what a great weekend it was. And, we really need to do that. That's not just lip service when I tell you guys to press, restart, refresh, and that you get a new one of those all day long, every day. If you're having a terrible day and it's 3:02 in the afternoon and you just hate your day, reset. Do something different. Pivot. It really makes a difference. And so I highly encourage that because it really helped me out. I get questions, and I'm not bragging, but people are, how are you so positive? Why are you how do you do that? And it's not that I am. It's that I choose to be. I choose to find the good. Yeah, I get frustrated and I walk through it. But I have started this process. I train salespeople, and I've been in sales ever since I was about 5 years old. And I've learned over the years it's a first grade practice. We're about 6 or 7 when we learn these words and the true meaning of them. And I who, what, where, when, why, and how myself into situations that normally would really be frustrating, or on the opposite of that, I want to do something good for the greater good of others. And so I ask myself things like, why don't we? Why don't we do certain things? What's holding us back? And, what holds us back? And when is the right time to do something? Always, always, who is this for? And where do we want to be? And how will it be done? We had a situation over the holidays, and I responded in a certain way, and someone said to me, it's not all about you. Oh, okay. You know what? If it involves you, it is about you. So it might not be all about me, but if I'm affected and I'm energized from it, I cry from it, I'm angry from it, it is about me. And, we joke around and say things, the sooner everybody in this world realizes it's about me and gets through it, that's a joke. I like to tease people with that. But if, when you're doing anything in life, it involves you. There's an old saying, it's not personal, it's business. Yes, it's personal. If you're in a deal and you're in a sales deal and you're trying to close it and it's between you and the prospective business owner, you're in there, so it's personal. Now, the feelings that you might have from that, you're sad you didn't get the deal, you're angry because you were hoping the commission that you got on that would take you on a vacation or whatever, or feed your family or put bread on the table. You can't help the feelings, but it is personal. And, I train salespeople. Again, I've been in sales, and you're told no for a living. And we do this on purpose because we're told no more than we're told yes, but we get that big fat adrenaline coming off of the yes, and there's just nothing like it, and it's why we're addicted to it. But, we're unique people, in salespeople. But the fact of the matter is that if you are involved in any transaction, it's about you. But it's also about, if you're in a relationship, it is about me, but it's also about them. It can't all be about me. And it never is. In my life, it never is. Recently, which by the way, before I tell you this story, I highly, highly, highly recommend the Badass books. They are amazing. They are for men and women. It's written by a woman, but she is one hell of a storyteller. And she encourages you to, if you have wants and needs, to say them out loud. In the spiritual world, we call that prayer. But I always include the universe and the stars. When it was snowing really bad, I went out at 1 a.m. Let's see, this would be Friday night going into Saturday morning. It was about 1:30, and it was just, if there's any way I could say it, it was pouring snow. Like if it was rain, I would have been drenched. And I hadn't seen snow like that in a long time, and I just looked up to the sky, and in between the snow, you could see the stars. And there weren't any cars out, so it was just me and the snow and listening to it touch the ground, and it was amazing. And at that moment, I called out to the universe, and I asked for things, and I talked to God. And I felt closer to God because I was out there in the elements, and it was cold, but I felt warm. And just kind of doing that whole, somebody sent me a picture of, I think it was Linus and Peanuts, and he's licking the snow. And I opened up my mouth to get snow in it to absorb some of the universe. And we got to do that sometimes, we got to dance in the rain, and because we complain about it, we got to realize without it, we wouldn't be here. And the snow, that's all a part of life. And so I took it in. And when I did that, I was asking for things, and I was making sure that I was in check. Recently, I sent something out to the leaders in our company, and I wrote, it's a memo, just me pouring out my heart. And the whole time I was writing it, I just felt in my heart like if I don't do this, it will eat away at me. See, it's about me. Then I thought, if I don't do this, I'm a greater good person. If I'm doing it for the greater intent of others, and I think it will help, you can't stop me. It may not come off the way you want to hear it, and it may seem strange, but I have to get it out. And I don't know if that comes from being the youngest of 7. There were 9 of us in a house, and me trying to be heard or get a morsel of food or any of that good stuff. But, when you look at something like that, you ask yourself the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I did. And who will this affect? And how will this be received? And there was just nothing I could do other than hit send. And I always tell you guys, lead with love. If you're afraid to do it, it's for the greater good. Do it anyway. Do that thing. Because you never know, if it's for the greater good, how you could help someone, inspire someone, or make a difference in their life. And that's really what this show is about. If I have one person, which I have, and it's why I'm doing this, tell me, I look forward to your show every single day. And she also said, when she had a bad day once, that her husband said, you need some Bev D show. You need to go listen. So that made a difference for me. That totally made a difference. And she inspired me and validated my life. Because when you think that, sometimes you're doing things or you're raising your kids and they're still making you crazy and you're like, what am I doing? You kind of get that give up feeling. And then they turn out to be these amazing